The Legend of the White Buffalo Woman by Paul Goble. Read by Jenny Donegan. Wakan Tanka, the Great Spirit, told my buffalo people to send me to you today. With these words, the beautiful and mysterious white buffalo woman offers the Lakota nation a wonderful gift, the gift of a pipe that gives them hope and a new way to pray to the Great Spirit. In stirring prose and with some of the most breathtaking images, Paul Goble brings us this most important of Lakota legends about the white buffalo woman. All who have been intrigued by Plains Indian culture and all who are curious about the many references to peace pipes in histories of the American West can now better understand the significance of the pipe. Each detail of a beautifully crafted pipe has meaning, and as you'll see, even the stone a pipe is made of is part of its power. The Legend of the White Buffalo Woman. Books by Paul Goble. Red Hawk's account of Custer's last battle. Brave Eagle's account of the Fetterman fight. Lone Bull's horse raid. The Friendly Wolf. The Girl Who Loved Wild Horses. The Gift of the Sacred Dog. Star Boy. Buffalo Woman. The Great Race of the Birds and Animals. Death of the Iron Horse. Her 7 brothers. Beyond the Ridge. Dream Wolf. I Sing for the Animals. Crow Chief. Love Flute. The Lost Children. Adopted by the Eagles. The Return of the Buffaloes. Remaking the Earth. Iktomi and the Boulder. Iktomi and the Berries. Iktomi and the Ducks. Iktomi and the Buffalo Skull. Iktomi and the Buzzard. Oekola, Hello Friend, Autobiography for Children. And now, The Legend of the White Buffalo Woman by Paul Goble, narrated and read by Jenny Donegan. Author's note. In this most important of all Lakota sacred legends, the Great Spirit gave the sacred calf pipe so that people could pray and commune with him. He caused a white buffalo cow calf to be changed into a woman who gave the pipe to the Sans Arcs Lakotas. It established the mystical relationship and love between people and buffaloes who lived together on the Great Plains. Oral tradition does not tell when White Buffalo Woman gave the pipe, only that it was at a time of some great change or suffering caused by war or famine. White man's history suggests it might have been in the late 1600s when the Lakotas were driven out of Wisconsin and Minnesota by their neighbors who had obtained guns in trade. But this may be a too recent date. With the pipe, White Buffalo Woman gave them back hope and direction and a new way to pray. The sacred calf pipe is thought of as the first pipe. Every other pipe, its child, blessed with its power and invulnerability. There is a pipe at the center of the 7 rites and every ceremony. Primarily, it is a person's means to be in communion with God. I have taken the legend of the gift of the sacred calf pipe and framed it with other related myths. I have not illustrated the sacred calf pipe, for which no likeness should be made. The style of clothing illustrated is one which has been worn from about the 1870s and which, with only small changes of fashion, is still worn by traditional dancers at powwows. Before taking the holy things, we prepare ourselves by offerings. If 2 are to talk together, one will fill the pipe and hand it to the other, who will light it and offer it to the sky and earth. Then we will smoke together, and after smoking, we will be ready to talk of holy things. And that is a quote by Chased by Bears, 1912. The pipe above is from a Lakota teepee cover from 1825. The pipe opposite is from a buffalo robe from 1845. The end of the old world. Long, long ago, the Great Spirit made it rain. Day after day, the water rose, covering everything. The people climbed a rocky ridge, left jutting above the flood. Yet even there, the water followed. And then the 4 winds blew, and huge waves broke over the rocks, and all the people were swept away and drowned. The nation is born again. At the last moment, an immense eagle swooped out of the sky to save a young woman who was crying for help. She clutched his feet, and he carried her to a faraway mountain which rose out of the water. They married, and she gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl. From that marriage of a woman of the earth and the eagle of the sky, people had a new beginning, and in time grew to become a nation once more. Sadness of war. Many generations passed, and then the people were attacked by enemies. Their houses were burned, and they were forced to leave their homeland in the forests. They fled to the great open plains where there were no trees and where the four winds blew eternally across the circle of the world. Every family mourned relatives who had been killed. Those were sad and frightening times. White buffalo woman appears. Late in the spring of the year, a group of the people were wandering, strangers in the new country. They were tired and hungry, searching for the buffaloes. Early one morning, the leader told two young men to climb a hill and look out over the country for the herds. As they came to the top, they were surprised to see a young woman climbing up toward them on the other side, carrying a bundle on her back. She was a stranger, beautiful and also mysterious. One of the young men whispered bad thoughts, but his friend answered, "No, get rid of such thoughts. She must be a holy woman." But he did not listen. And at the instant he put his arms around her, lightning flashed and thunder shook the hilltop, and rushing clouds hid them. As the wind died, the clouds lifted, and the woman was standing there, alone. At her feet were bones, which was all that was left of the foolish young man. The other was so frightened he turned to run. "Stay," she called. "No harm will come to you. Tell your leader I have something important to give him. Tell him to erect a council teepee with a buffalo skull altar at the center. And let everyone gather there at dawn tomorrow. Go now." He ran down to the camp as fast as he could and told what had happened. They all wondered who this woman could be. The council teepee was set up just as she had asked. Early the next morning, everyone dressed in their best clothes and gathered inside the great teepee. They were excited, yet in awe of the mysterious woman. As the sun lit up the sky, she appeared, walking across the prairie toward the opening in the camp circle. Her breath was like a cloud in the cold morning air. There was quiet. No baby cried. Even the dogs feared to bark. She was singing. And though still far off, her song was clearly heard. With visible breath, I am walking. Toward this nation, I walk. And my voice is heard as I walk. With visible breath, I am walking. With this red pipe, I walk. The beautiful woman carried a pipe. She walked to the place of honor where the leader, buffalo standing upright, invited her to sit. He dipped braided sweetgrass into a buffalo horn cup filled with water for her to sip. "Sister, we are glad you have come," he said. She thanked him, and she said to everyone, Wakan Tanka, the Great Spirit told my buffalo people to send me to you today. He has seen your tears. He knows you have always tried to do what is right. So he gives you this pipe. Pray with it, and you will see your prayers rise up to him with the smoke, and you will know he hears you. The pipe will join nations and families together in love and peace. And so from today, your people and my Buffalo Nation will be one family. The beautiful one told them, when you fill the pipe, the spirits of all things will help you send your prayers to the Great Spirit. She took a glowing chip from the fire and lit the pipe. She offered smoke to the sky and the earth and to the four winds in thanks for all the good things which they give. She handed the pipe to the person on her left, and it went from hand to hand around the circle, and children touched it as it passed. When the pipe had completed the circle, she leaned it against the buffalo's skull. She told them, in time, all of you will have a pipe. Carry it always, and the Great Spirit will help you on your pathway through life. She said to Buffalo standing upright, look after this pipe, and it will guide your people to the end of the world. Turning to the people, she said, pray always. Look for what is good and true, and now I have finished what I was sent to do. I will always remember you, and in time, I will return. Mitakuyasin, we are all related. She left the council teepee, stopping 3 times to turn and look back at them. When she had passed through the opening in the teepee circle, she turned a 4th time and sat down. And then everyone was amazed to see a white buffalo calf jump up and run off to join the buffalo herd. Until that moment, nobody had noticed that the buffaloes surrounded the camp. The wonderful woman had brought her Buffalo Nation with her. The Buffalo Path. She is called White Buffalo Woman because she changed into a white buffalo calf. Afterwards, her buffalo people gave the red stone so everyone could make pipes. It happened this way. Buffaloes made pathways as they walked from one grassland to another, this river to that, to and fro. At certain places, the great beasts loved to lie down and roll in the dust and mud to scratch their backs. At one of those wallowing places, they uncovered the beautiful red stone. Walking the buffalo path, people found it washed and polished by the wind and rain, a gift from the buffalo people. Blood changed to stone. Tradition tells that the red stone is the flesh and blood of the people who drowned at the end of the old world. When the waves swept them off the high ridge, they sank, and the Great Spirit changed their bodies to stone. All these things which have been told here were born in the imagination of Wakantanka, the Great Spirit. Some meanings of the pipe. If an Indian tries to talk about the pipe, he is easily lost. Our minds are not good enough to understand all of it. Lane Deer, 1973. Bowl is stone. It comes from the earth, the mother material, and grandmother spiritual of all, who gave everything needful for life. Stem is wood. It remembers the trees and plants. When pointing the stem upward, we have our feet on earth and our thoughts in the sky, who is the father material and grandfather spiritual of all. The stem is straight like truth and strong like the mind and concentration has to be. The hole through the middle is the soul. Buffalo fur honors the animals and everything that walks and moves on earth. Mallard duck feathers, green neck feathers, are for all who live in the water, for birds and everything that flies. 4 ribbons are the 4 winds. Black or blue ribbon is the west wind, which brings the thunderstorms and rain and inspiration. White ribbon is the north, which brings snow in the winter to purify the earth and to teach endurance. Red ribbon is the east wind, the sun and morning star, who herald the new day in which we can look for wisdom. Yellow ribbon is the warm south wind, which brings life and summertime. It is also the direction we will travel at death. Tobacco grains remind us of the abundance of God's blessings. When praying with the pipe, a person is at the central point where the powers of the 6 directions meet. Power flows from each through the pipe, which is set alight with the fire, the Great Spirit. Tamper is for willpower, which we need in every endeavor. And because it means all this and more than any man can understand, the pipe is holy. Nicholas, Black Elk, 1932. The pipe illustrated was made for the author in 1986 by Myron Taylor. pipe maker from South Dakota. The bowl is pipestone with lead inlay, and the stem is ash wood wrapped with porcupine quills. Pipestone Quarry is now a national monument. In the old days, it was a place of pilgrimage. People traveled great distances to quarry stone. Pipe bowls and unworked stone were traded across the continent. There was peace at the quarry, even between enemies, because tradition told it was the place where the Great Spirit had come down to earth. Standing on the high ridge above the quarry, the same ridge from which the people had been swept by the waves, he told them to stop fighting, to smoke the pipe together and live in peace. Henry Wadsworth Longfellow captured the spirit of this story in his much loved poem, The Song of Hiawatha. The pipe is often called the peace pipe. Most people call it a peace pipe, yet now there is no peace on earth or even between neighbors. This is my prayer, that through our sacred pipe, peace may come to those people who can understand, an understanding which must be of the heart and not just the head alone. Nicholas Black Elk, 1953. 160 years ago, George Catlin, who traveled to paint Indian people, was one of the early white visitors to the quarry. The pipestone was named Calatanite after him. He recorded what Lakota people told him. This pipestone is part of our flesh. The red man are part of the red stone. If the white men take away a piece of the red pipestone, it is a hole in our flesh, and the blood will always run. We cannot stop the blood from running. The Great Spirit has told us that the red stone is only to be used for pipes, and through them we are to smoke to him. We love to go to the pipestone quarry and get a piece of red stone for our pipes, but we ask the Great Spirit first. Anonymous, 1836.